Could you hear? I put the wrong mic, right? It was the wrong mic. So that was shitty. But yes, Red Door, thank you. Thank you, my sister, for being here. Like I was saying this before, right? I think that there's a lot of amazing women out there, right? There's a lot of amazing women out there. But I don't think there's enough. Okay. I think that in general, women are not finding good guidance, right? Who are the people that guide women, right? We have single mothers a lot of time. Those are questionable. And we have women online. Right. I think women online are terrible at guiding women. So we don't have enough, you know, enough women like even, Red Door, right? Beautiful, amazing woman, right? We don't have enough women like her, logical, live by example. And it's a great example, right? A woman that has achieved a lot and with a family at that. We don't have enough women like that. We have more women like I'm going to show you today. So we'll be talking about that. I just don't think that women have good guidance, good mentors, good role models. So we'll be talking about that. Let's start it. All right.
You have value just by existing, and a lot of people don't want you to know that.
There's no table for us to sit at. You have no money to buy the table. We're sitting on the ground. So rather ask, what do you bring to the ground? Oh my god, she accepted 10K. She voted for 10K. You guys vote for a good morning text. You guys get turned on because a guy sends you good morning. That doesn't turn me on. Looking at a guy just thinking, oh, he's pretty. I've never thought that in my life.
Hello, my dears. Have you?
Those are the women, right, that have thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of followers. Okay. And we get that. What is it? There's a big man hater on TikTok, right? Or is it Drew Duffalo? Big, has millions upon millions of female followers. That's who women's role models are. That's who women look to for guidance or, I don't know, information or whatever.
I felt so exhausted with dating because you're just a simple girl. All you want is a man to pay all your bills and give your monthly allowance while regularly reminding you that he knows you're the prize. Yet it seems like it's just so hard to find
Big bars. What is up, my brother? Sorry I didn't let you up, right? I wanted to, but I didn't want people to feel like I had a bunch of people agreeing to me that would be on the show, right? And dogpiling her. So, but link is in the chat if you guys want to join for the YouTube live, right? I love you guys.
And you're willing to do this bare minimum. The world of female dating gurus is a fascinating place. The women who teach essentially the same message.
Shira7, have a huge female following, right? Another woman that just basically say, get a man that's rich. That is it, right? Get a man that's wealthy. Great. Let's find a partner on Shallow Views.
As the manosphere, but package it as self-worth, feminine energy, and manifestation. But when you strip away the soft voices, the luxury aesthetics, and the self-healing journeys, a lot of the advice essentially just teaches women to view dating like a power game. The goal of these gurus is to empower women, or at least that's how it's presented. But many of them teach women to emotionally detach from romantic situations and to always have the upper hand.
If he's not doing the most, you should not like him like that. You know what I'm saying? You should never like him more than he likes you. If you're starting to like someone more than they like you, it's time to get another one. It's time to bounce. It's time to take a break. It's time to find somebody who likes you more than you start to like them.
Now, as we know, these days, one of the...
Such an insanity, right? Such an insanity. You don't want a man that you love incredibly. Now, in my opinion, right? Right, we see marriage rates, right? Divorce rates, where 70% of women are the ones to file for divorce. I think it makes more sense for women to love a man more, right? I think it makes more sense for women to like a man more, but or at the very best, love each other equally, right? As equally as possible. But no, If you love him more, leave him. Makes sense.
Worst STDs you can catch is feelings. You gotta be careful with those, otherwise you'll lose your leverage. Something I've also learned from watching these gurus is that me simply existing is honestly enough.
Simply existing with a man, you're already doing him a favor because you bring so much to the table just by existing with him, just by allowing him 24/7 access to you.
Now this is very
What do you get? Her body comes standard with every woman. It's very nothing special. But this is the insanity, okay? We gotta let's look at this, right? Low marriage rates, high divorce rates, low birth rate. What is your point of your existence? Let's be honest, right? Women say just by existing, women are valuable. Okay, but if you don't marry, you don't give birth, what is your value then? Right? How can you be the same token, right? You're valuable, but the one thing that you could do, right? The one thing that you do, you don't do. How valuable are you then? How valuable? Obviously, women's value has been decreasing by quite a lot, right? Now, their only value is just for fun. And this is why they're being played by the players, the bad boys, the Pookies, the Ray Rays, the Chads, the Tyrones, right? Their value, all right, is only for fun. That is it. So no duh that, you know what? Women don't realize they're being used substantially now, more than ever before, right? We have Texas, Atlanta, you know, other parts where high STDs rates, high STI rates, high HIV rates, because you're just being used now. Great. Big bars, my brother. Love to see you, my brother. Thank you for being here.
What's up, bro? Sorry, I hit the wrong button. Peace.
It's all good. It's all good, my brother.
par with some of the stuff that we see from the manosphere. They also preach this idea that women are born with value while men have to earn it.
All these women are born with value. They're pretty.
But here's the thing, right? I don't disagree that women are born with value, but you have to understand that value, right? The value women are born with, right, is the ability to give birth, their beauty. That's their value, okay? But if you think that if that's what all you care about, right, you're pretty, you give birth, guess what type of man you're getting? That only values you that. This is why women got to see that, you know what? If you value more, your value should be higher as well, right? In the sense that, how about your personality? How about you know how you treat a man? So it's like a lot of women don't realize that you also have to think more, right? And, you know, Andrew Tate usually says that, right? Your values, your body, your looks, which it is, but you gotta see past it. And this is why a lot of these women are only skin deep, right? They're shallow.
Yeah, I just wonder what happened to hate speech? What happened to if you say falsehoods, you get sued? What happened to that? People can just go online and say whatever. It's crazy to me. I grew up in the age where if you was wrong, if you didn't say the right thing, you mean that was it for you. You was done. And sure,
Mhm.
Seven especially goes
Yeah.
online and lies and takes money from people, so somebody should be suing her. I'm
Mhm.
sorry. I'm
No.
sorry.
Yeah.
And maybe it's going to take for some men to get together and sue her the pants off of her because she is insane. She's really going to she's like a terrorist. She's going to get somebody hurt, in my opinion. The way
Mhm.
she's hateful. And that's what I saw earlier.
Mhm.
The amount of hate and trauma that a lot of women have. Hate
Mhm.
and trauma for the other side. And it's like,
Exactly.
you get mad at all men because you pick a
Uh-huh.
man. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? That's
Yes.
crazy, yeah.
I agree. I
It's a little
agree.
crazy.
Already, they're good looking enough. Even if they're a five, someone's going to give it. They exist because someone wants them. As a man, if you don't make yourself valuable, you have no value. You have to get up and do it.
Now, what they really mean is that men have to earn their status, while women naturally have sexual desirability. Only the problem is, someone desiring you sexually is not the same as valuing you. Men will sleep with women they do not like, do not respect, and have no desire to commit to. So no, there is a very big difference between a man actually valuing you versus just wanting access to you.
I would say it's just difference in value, right? I mean, we could all agree that a man can value for your body, your looks, right? but that's weak, right? This is why we have to understand difference in values, right? I know my value is what I can provide, but I will hope I find a woman that values other things as well. So, it's about understanding. This is why I constantly promote we have to go beyond skin deep. People are way too shallow. They're way too shallow. They only care about the looks, they only care about shallow traits. And I think that's a big problem in society right now. So, it's sad.
No, I agree. I think that I just think it's weird because we understand this because we were allowed to see it. How women didn't want to be treated as sexual objects. How women, wanted, oh, I'm more than just my looks. But now that's all they want to offer.
Uh-huh.
It's weird. It's like for the whole world. It's like, well, what do you want? That's why women say. That's why people say women are like children in a way. Because it's like, what do you want? Do you want to
Mhm.
be treated as an object, or do you want to be treated as more than an object? And if you want to be treated as more than that object, then you have to offer more than just sexual gratification. And that's all they want. Half of them don't even want to offer that. Let's be
Yes.
honest. Half of them don't even want to offer that. They want you to sit back and keep all your traditional values and do this and do that. They want slavery. Let's be
Mhm.
honest. That's what it
I
seems
agree.
like. It seems like
I
they
agree.
want slavery, and it's crazy. Cause like if all men were bad, I would think more women would be subjugated. That's what I would think. If all men were bad,
No, yeah.
in my opinion.
But nonetheless, this perspective that women are inherently valuable is what leads to some of the more entitled perspectives you get from this space.
Provider men are the bare minimum. Okay, so it is a spoiled girly support group. Provider men are the bare minimum.
Now, I personally have no issue with people who choose to do the whole breadwinner provider setup, live your best life. However, I do think it's very bizarre to call it the bare minimum. Darling, in this economy, have you heard about the cost of living? I hear it's in crisis. But the reality is the vast majority of the women who are actually watching these videos probably come from a working or middle class backgrounds, and the odds of them marrying rich is very unlikely. Most of the men that they will probably end up dating definitely cannot afford to have a stay-at-home housewife. And so presenting this idea as if it should be the bare minimum is very delusional. But the entitlement also extends to time too, with some of these gurus saying that men essentially have to pay you for your time and exclusivity.
You should, when you're in,
That's the thing where that's the problem I have, right? That's the problem I have that, I said this before. Being a stay-at-home mom, stay-at-home wife is a luxury that most people can't afford. Right? It's so you count yourself lucky. But this is the thing where we have average women, right? My biggest problem is average women don't want average men because of people like this. Because of women like this, they inflate average women's egos. Almost all average women think that they deserve a provider, they deserve a good-looking man, a tall man, like a badass looking man, and that is the delusion. So many average women think that they are better than average men, and I think that's so sad. And I mean, I don't know about suing these women, but definitely this is why more and more men need to talk out against these people, because these people are honestly the problem. They're deluding these women to thinking that I'm sorry, average people will only get average people 99% of the time. But yet, but 99% of women, average women, think that what they want the high value man, they want the 6-figure man, the 6-inch man, the 6 feet man, shit like that. It's a stupidity. It's a delusion.
And you look at her background and stuff. She's not living no wealthy 5-star life. Look at her background, man. Let's keep it
No,
100. She's
she's
this
probably
nice
like
little existence.
she's probably a higher middle class life. It's not like she married old, right? So her husband is an old man, but I mean he's okay, right? He's a 6-figure man, but you married extremely old. I think 20, maybe 30 years older than her, and
Hmm.
she's in her like 40s. So the man
Hmm.
is old. So, but it's just that these women is like don't realize that you go for these shallow type of relationships. It's so empty.
My thing is that that the not the average man, but a man making 80 to 100 probably could afford it, but not when a woman is worthless, don't want to offer nothing. The woman don't
Yeah.
want to do nothing. So I'm gonna give you even a more luxurious lifestyle than I'm giving you, and you don't want to do nothing.
Hmm.
That's
Particularly,
crazy.
I mean, like even if you're making 100K, The more she spends, the less
Yeah,
that 100K means anything.
anything. Yes, I agree.
You should be benefiting in many ways. When you commit yourself, you're losing your power. So therefore, you need something in exchange. Do you understand? If you're going to say, okay, well, I'll be committed to you and only you, you need something tangible. You need, oh, you're going to pay my bills. Oh, okay. You're going to pay going to pay all my bills and you're going to take me out and court me. Great. I'm benefiting from being with you.
Now, this kind of talk is really interesting because it essentially turns relationships into a seeking arrangements type deal, where women are essentially being told to look for sugar daddies as opposed to long-term companions. But when you glorify money this much, you will end up prioritizing money above all else, which can definitely blind you from more important things, which leads us to the Wizard Liz. The Wizard Liz is a very popular creator in this space. She makes content for young women about self-worth, dating, feminine energy, and healing, and she promotes ideas about provider men luxury and being taken care of. Now, she dated the streamer Landon Nicholson, who messaged other women behind her back while she was 4 months pregnant. Their relationship came to an end, and it shattered the hearts of women across the internet.
But when I tell you, I am absolutely gagged. Like, this is the Queen Mother herself. And then she got cheated on. What the fuck?
Women online seem to have this very bizarre thing where anytime a woman who is attractive gets cheated on, they all
It's like, are you surprised? You picked a man based on his money, and then you're surprised you got cheated on. Just like just like I recently talked about the Megan Stallion thing. She dated an an NBA player. Seriously, you think NFL player, NBA players are notoriously monogamous? You're stupid. You're low IQ because you value men based on their money, status, and looks, and you're surprised that these men lack morals, principles, values. That is the sheer stupidity of women, and this is the problem. Women like Shira Seven or all these other women are teaching women to value money, which is fine, right? Providing is great, but when you value money, you are going to negate or neglect other better traits, right? Morals, monogamy, faithfulness, respectful. It's all these values. You are going to negate it, neglect it. And women don't realize, oh, wow, you know what? Having morals is a good thing, right? A man having principles, values is a good thing. But no. He needs money. And then you're surprised that he cheated on you. This is why I just think that women have no good role models, right? We have a generation of women that wants materialism, that wants that luxurious lifestyle, that wants that 5-star dinner. And then you're surprised that this man can afford other women as well, right? I mean, like, these women want, to be sugar babies or whatever.
That make the stallion thing is crazy because am I the only one that remembers that she lied on Tory Lanez, and he ended up getting almost unalived? Does nobody know that? She doesn't deserve nothing. I'm sorry. In my opinion, she deserves what she gets, man. She don't deserve no. She don't deserve no $100 million man. She don't deserve to be. She don't. When Clay started talking to her, I was like, "Come on, man. Why her? Yeah. Why is anybody dealing with her?
They want to
All
hit
she's
it
gonna do is
quick,
lie."
right? She's just a booty. I mean, like, to be honest,
Yeah,
like, you seen the
yeah.
men she dated? It's all athletes or rappers. What the hell you think? What type of men you think you're getting? Men is just she's getting essentially the rich pookies. That's it. She's getting the rich pookies.
And it's not even like she's a ScarJo type where she has like a still certain moral high ground she goes by. She's like she's a bust down thirsty. She's a Tatiana.
No,
She's a Tatiana.
she is a rich 304.
That's
That's
it.
pretty much it.
Yeah, that's it.
go into hysterics. And they say things like, oh, no one is safe. And I've always found it really interesting because it's almost as if they think that if you're beautiful and successful, then that seems to make you immune to betrayal. And so if it can still happen to you, then it can happen to anybody. But that's kind of the point, though, isn't it? It can happen to anybody. So this idea that just because you're attractive or because you're successful, it's not going to happen to you, where does that come from? But nonetheless, Wizard Liz later explained that she did ignore red flags when it came to Landon. And she says that initially she wasn't really interested in him, but she changed her mind when he sent her money. Now, stuff like this is what Wizard Liz is accused of being a gossip.
Wow, surprise that you ignore red flags because of money. Don't you? This is why I think women are honestly liars. They say, "Oh, what about men lying? What about men switching up?" Are you crazy? It's because he's good looking, charming, has money. So you ignored red flags. It wasn't because he was lying. is because you ignore red flags. All right, this is the thing. Out from a woman's mouth. He sent her money. She didn't care about the red flags. So how can you blame a man for cheating when you knew he was honestly immoral, shitty type of man? You just ignored it because you got money.
It's crazy because this whole idea that a man has to pay your bills while y'all dating is crazy to me.
Ah,
I've never, I I've never even heard that until really like this year.
well,
That oh
that is the cause of these women, right? These role models, these dating coaches, these gurus that women have. This is why I said women have terrible role models and teachers. Women are learning from these other women.
yes, learning from them how to. And the sad thing, women lie to other women. Women
Yeah,
lie.
yeah.
Women lie. They say men. Well, men lie. Women lie, but women lie more, way
Mm,
more. I'm sorry.
mm,
People feel how they want to about it, but women lie to, especially to other women.
mhm.
You got a good circle of men around you. They'll tell you. They'll be like, "Hey, man, you need to hit the gym. You need to do this. You need to do that. You need to do this. Try this. Try that. Do this. Be a better man." Women will not do that. And that's
Yeah,
messed
yeah,
up.
yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
messed up.
Digger. On top of the videos that she posts where she states quite clearly that she expects men to pay for her for everything.
First things first, I need you to understand that people in life get what they expect. I've always expected my partner to pay all my bills and do everything financially for me. Me personally, I am not attracted to guys that have no money. I am simply not. I'm attracted to money. I'm attracted to power. I am attracted to a man that is in his masculine energy and is willing to provide and protect. That is what I want in a man.
But Liz
That's the thing where you hear these gurus, right? These teachers of women never said, I'm attracted to a man that has morals. I'm attracted to a man that has values. I'm attracted to a man that, will be a good husband, will be a good father, who's monogamous, respectful, loving, a man that's, has principles, a man that, like something deeper. No, all she said was superficial shit. And then this is why we have a new generation of women only caring about superficial shit. Oh, can you pay my bills? Are you going to take me to dinner? Or you can take me, no coffee dates. You got to take me to a fancy dinner or pay for a dinner. You got all this stuff. This is why, dating sucks.
Yes. And it's like, I hate to say it, look, I hate to say it, but I think more men will be okay with it if they actually got something in return. They get
Yeah.
nothing. They spend all this money and they get nothing. That's
No.
it's like wild. You know what I'm saying? It's like this, and that girl, I don't like fake. She looks too plastic to me. She looks too fake for me. Just for
Yeah.
me. Yeah, I don't like
Yeah.
fake looking women. I like real looking women. I don't like fake looking women. You a fake. And you sitting here talking about, oh, he had money, so whatever. It's just like you bought and sold. That's being a concubine. That's being you know, everybody wants to be an ex-worker. It's crazy to me because that's not no career. People are like, oh, I'm just doing it for my career. No, that ex-worker is not a career. That's you being a 304. That's called what it is. You being a 304, and you're
Mhm,
cool with it.
mhm. Yeah.
If you're cool with it, okay, but
Jeremiah, Steve, what is up, my brothers? Thank you for being here.
is a confusing one because she can be quite contradictory. Because on one hand, she pushes this idea that you should be taken care of, you should receive princess treatment, yet she's also very passionate about women being financially independent. Meanwhile, I'm literally telling you, you can join me. I'm even showing my finances, like something so private on my Instagram to other women. So I'm like, hey, maybe you should also do that. Maybe you could also do this to make the same amount of money. Because it's not a competition. If I want a world where a lot of women will lead, I need other women to step up too. Now, there's nothing inherently wrong with a woman wanting to have her own money, even if she does have a breadwinner style husband. I think, if anything, it's actually quite smart to also have another source of income, because even if your relationship is healthy, your partner isn't financially abusive or anything like that, it's also good to have something else to fall back on, because he could also lose his money. Things happen, okay? So that's not really the issue here. The issue is Liz comes across like someone who wants the benefit of being provided for without any of the trade-offs that come with depending on someone else. She wants to be provided for and taken care of so that she can be within her feminine energy, but she also wants to hustle and make enough money to not need a man, because she doesn't think you should ever really depend on a man. And it just kind of reminds me of the men who basically want trad wife treatment, with a split the bill setup. You know, they want their women to do most of the childcare, most of the cooking, most of the household duties in general, but they also want her to work full time and pay half of the bills. So it seems like we've got a whole bunch of men and women who want to dabble in a bit of traditional versus modern roles because they want to benefit from the perks of both without any of the sacrifice that comes with either. In Liz's case, though, I do think that her contradiction comes from what she witnessed growing up. She talks about how she witnessed her father not financially support her mom and how this led them to experiencing poverty and hardship. And so I do think that she does equate someone wanting to financially take care of you and spend money on you as love. To her, that's your way of showing love. But she also talks about how she witnessed her mom being mistreated and how that changed when her mom started earning more money. And so I think the reason why she also pushes this whole hustle mentality and how as a woman you should make your own money and you should not fully depend on a man, etc., is because she's also seen the consequences of what can happen when women get trapped in bad situations because they can't afford to get themselves out at the same time. It's probably because of the stuff that she witnessed growing up. I think that's why she gets very defensive about this topic. Whenever people criticize her for her views on this particular issue, she gets very riled up.
Because this is another thing. I don't know why everyone is so upset that I go into a relationship thinking about stability. Why are you upset? My dad was a broke man. My dad had no ambition and he lived off of my mother. When he had the money.
This is a woman with father issues, with daddy issues. It's crazy.
Trauma dumping. Trauma dumping.
Yeah.
Him and he was sending all his money back home.
If I had to guess why people have a problem with it, I'd assume it's probably because Liz blurs the line between stability and luxury. There is a big difference between wanting someone who is stable enough so that you don't fall into poverty versus wanting someone who will buy you a Birkin bag or a Rolex watch on demand. But nonetheless, her childhood does offer an explanation for how she developed her worldview. It seems like her desire for a provider man is not just about luxury and status. I think a lot of it is also rooted in her desire to not be like her mother or to not end up in the same situation as her mother. And so I can only imagine that when people criticize or dismiss what she's saying, she probably takes it to heart because it probably feels to her as though you're invalidating the childhood experiences or the childhood traumas that created this.
But this is the insanity of women, right? And this is why I've always said, right? Why have a therapist? Because at the end of the day, these therapists, they are mentally unstable themselves. They have problems themselves. They can't even help themselves, right? They can't even change their life or better their own lives. And you think that they will help you out? That's the sheer insanity. And these women, right? She didn't want to be like her mom, but yet at the end of the day, she still picked a man that, you know, did her dirty. So really, you end up almost like your mom anyway. And this is why I said the problem isn't that, you know what? Oh, my mom got with a broke man, so I'm not going to get with a broke man. It's like, no, your mom got with a shitty man and didn't value who he was inside, right? His personality, his deeper characters, and you would do the same as well. And you, because they don't recognize, they don't self-reflect. They don't see that, you know what? I was the problem. I vetted terribly. I just didn't do it right. I didn't value the correct things. So, yeah.
You know, I think it's pretty, if you look at the difference of those, the content creator and then the person she's featuring, how they talk with their hands. Like the one, they both talk with their hands, but the content creator is more smooth and calm with her hand movements, and the other one is just like all in your face. You gotta watch women like that. Women who talk with their hands and they're so aggressive, you gotta watch aggressive women. Period. I feel. You know what I'm saying? That's my advice to all men. Avoid aggressive women. You know what I'm saying? I think it's crazy. You know, I just think it's crazy. And that content creator, look, pretty girl, I feel like she's prettier than the other girl. But she doesn't have all those standards and all that. She's not talking crazy, but
Yeah.
she's prettier than her, in my opinion. You know what I'm
At
saying?
least less fake. At least less fake.
At least
right?
less
More
fake.
natural.
Yes. More natural, yes.
Because every time she's criticized for this, the first thing she does is explain her situation with her mother. But I guess the question is, should the men you date have to pay for the mistakes of your father? And by prioritizing money so heavily in order to protect yourself from your mother's experience, are you not putting yourself in situations where you may overlook other important qualities? Because Landon had money, he gave her the princess treatment and spoiled her in the way that she wanted. And I imagine that the financial security that he offered is probably why she felt as comfortable to move as quickly as she did with him. However, in the end, he still cheated and she still ended up a single mother. So the desire to pursue a rich man in order to gain stability and security clearly didn't work out in the way that she thought it would. Now, not everything that Wizard Liz says is bad. She does give some good advice, especially for women who are prone to being trapped in the people-pleasing cycle. But she does also give some bad advice that we can't ignore.
Why did I end my relationship?
First of all, I was way too comfortable in the relationship. And I posted about this on TikTok and I said that I was way too comfortable. And then everybody was like, oh my God, you're so toxic. Isn't that good being comfortable? Blah, blah, blah. Being comfortable is good. Being way too comfortable is not good. When people become way too comfortable in a relationship, they don't want to do anything anymore. That's why you see a lot of people, they stop looking after themselves. Like they don't care about anything anymore because they think, oh, I just have my partner. I already have him, whatever, you know? And then the partner starts to lose attraction for the person, or the person starts to feel really bad about themselves and they become very insecure. Now, for me, I literally have no motivation and no more passion for life, like at all. Because I literally, like the amount of money even that I let on the table and I didn't do brand deals or I didn't do anything because I thought, whatever, it doesn't matter, I have my partner. That's what I mean. Like, I am not working towards my goals as hard as I should. And it infuriates me. I'm like, I don't have that fire anymore. And to be this comfortable, I like it.
Now, if you've lost your motivation and your drive, is the solution to throw away the man or to tackle the mentality? Because I do think that our feelings are our own responsibility. And so if you're feeling lack of motivation or drive, then I do think that's an internal issue. Also, Liz says that she wants to provide a man, but seems to dislike the comfort and predictability that comes with that. And I imagine she probably felt unmotivated or felt like she had no drive because she was very likely with someone who was paying all her bills and taking care of her because, as she says, that's her type and she wouldn't settle for anything less. So I can imagine that if you are in that situation, you probably don't have any drive or have any motivation to do any of that stuff because she was essentially fortunate enough to not have to be in survival mode, but yet she found herself being discontent with that reality, which leads me to be very confused, okay? Because I thought I was going to watch these gurus and I was going to learn how to master relationships and love, but now I'm confused. Do we want comfort and stability, or is it bad because it's going to make us unmotivated? Liz definitely does have a habit of contradicting herself. I have to be honest, it's truly fascinating to me how many young women look up to Wizard Liz and how many of them view her as this woman who's got everything figured out. When to me, she seems like a young woman who is constantly dissatisfied, regardless of whether she has what she wants or doesn't. She wants to provide a man, yet complains that stability and comfort are boring and cause her to be unmotivated. Now, there's nothing inherently wrong with having contradictory beliefs, especially when you are a young woman who's still trying to figure life out. And I do think in the case of Wizard,
There is something wrong. This is why women aren't blunt enough, right? This is why women aren't blunt enough. There is something wrong. You are wasting your life, right? You are wasting it, right? By not knowing what you want, by being all over the place. It is a detriment. It's going to like hinder your life. Right? Contradictory views, the hypocrisies of your viewpoints, right? The delusions of your viewpoints. No, you got to wake up. You got to stop that shit. Right? It's not healthy at all.
Yes, she clearly had some mental issues, and people don't want to say it nowadays, but a lot of people have mental issues. They got mental issues. That's the problem. And just because we all have phones doesn't mean everybody's supposed to go online spewing their mental illness all over the place. And that's what I feel like she's doing.
I agree. Three Kings. I'm always down to talk about whatever, right? If you have a disagreement on any other topics I've had, any kind of anything I've said in the past, I'm always down to have a conversation, right? If you want to be the devil's advocate, I'm down, my brother, right? I'm always open for a conversation. I'll never back down from someone who want to push back on any of my viewpoints. So if you have something, I'm down to talk about it.
We are literally just witnessing a woman figure out life in real time. The problem, however, is when you present yourself as someone who has already figured life out. When you present yourself as someone who has cracked the code, when you're actually just still young and learning. And I also think that from a viewer's perspective, probably not the smartest or the wisest idea to get a lot of your life advice or your dating advice from someone whose views mostly stem from a troubled childhood. Now, these dating gurus don't teach women how to build healthy relationships. They teach them how to maximize leverage, get what they want from men while keeping themselves emotionally at arm's length to avoid vulnerability, or worse, some of them actively encourage you to weaponize vulnerability.
You have to be always 1 foot in and 1 foot out. That's how you win. The whole purpose of this is to get him to be able to do what you want him to do, or to be the type of man you want him to be, or to keep interest in you, okay? Now, being over emotional only gets you things temporarily. So if you become emotional, you go in and you pull right back out. You distance yourself right afterwards. You know, a lot of women fake emotions so that they can get what they want, and then they pull it back. Now, the reason that you do that is because if you remain emotional throughout the entire relationship, it's not appealing. It becomes a burden after a while. So you only show emotion when you want to be vulnerable to get what you want, or to show him that you're open to him and that he can trust you because he's seen you at your lowest point. But then you pull it back.
But if you're
So this is, and then you're surprised that these women get cheated on, get lied to, get abused, get with the players, the bad boys, the pookies, right? These are the teachers of women right now, right? Of young women, teaching how to manipulate men, teaching how to manipulate your emotions and other people's emotions. And then you're surprised that you are getting bad results. You're getting it's like you're surprised that you get the players that would what have sex with you, deal with you, and then just leave you, or the cheaters. It's like it's just toxic. So you teach people to be toxic. You're surprised that they don't attract toxicity. Crazy.
Mhm. I wouldn't even go as far to say the men who accept this type of behavior from women are
Mm.
definitely cheating. Are
Uh-huh.
definitely cheating.
Hmm.
Because a man who's a real man is not going to deal with no games. It's only so many games you can play, probably two or three, and then it's bye. It's like
Hmm.
go ahead about your business. And I wonder why women are not like, I did what you said, and now he's married with children, and I did what you said. You know, I, I'm, I just want, I'm surprised that doesn't come out more. I followed your advice, and he told me to keep it moving. I came home and my stuff was outside. I don't. I wonder why that is not more prevalent
Hmm.
because her advice is horrible.
Hmm.
I've not, I think she's the worst out of them all to me.
Yeah,
She's
I
the
do
worst out of
agree.
them all.
Here's my thing, right? Three King says it should be easy to avoid women like Sprinkle Sprinkle. It's not,
No.
because men. I'm gonna hold men accountable, right? Men's biggest weakness is women and lust, right? I believe most men, their biggest weakness is women, right?
Mhm.
Men are very weak to women. So men will pay. I mean, it's like the simps or the players. Both will pay, right? The simps will pay, the players will pay, because the players want to play and the simps don't give a shit. They will do everything they can to get that woman. So it's not as easy as I would hope it to be, right? I would hope men
Mhm.
to be stronger than they are, but it's not easy at all, because men are. It's a sad fact that men are weak.
Men are weak and women lie. So
Yeah,
it might be like 2, 3 years before you find Sprinkle Sprinkle. So what you gonna do then?
yeah,
Yeah, I would like
yeah.
that's weird that he would even say that, and it's kind of makes me question if you have had a lot of women in your life because I done dated plenty of women, and like a year or two down the line, I'm like, something wrong with you.
No,
Something
yeah,
wrong with you.
yeah. It's going to take experience, right? I believe the ones that can avoid them are the men that have experience with women. And the sad fact is that a lot of men don't have experience with women, right? Especially the younger men, the 18 to 25 men. They don't have enough experience with women, and so that's why they won't easily avoid these types of women.
Dating like it's a game where you constantly have to have the upper hand, that can get very exhausting really quickly. And with both sexes receiving this kind of messaging, is it really any wonder that dating is a shit show? These influences essentially encourage selfish behavior, which is very counterproductive to a relationship.
If I do not want to go on a date and I just want to spend time with myself, do some self care and things like that, I'll say, hey, listen, I cannot make it today. And yeah, they get upset and stuff, but then I don't care because I chose myself and I chose what I wanted to do first. When you put yourself first in every aspect of life, people will put you first.
I disagree. People often mirror each other. Provided you're in a healthy relationship, usually
Yeah, she's probably gonna say it, but yes, I disagree. When you
I
don't
disagree.
prioritize your partner or someone you're dealing with, guess what? They won't prioritize you. Why would
Not at all.
someone prioritize you when you don't prioritize them? It's only weak men and players that would, right? And weak men,
Mhm.
no woman's gonna want weak men forever. And players, they're just doing it until they hit it and quit it.
Yeah, it's like, and it's players and men with money don't care. They're like,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, I thought if I call you and you available, you're really like a ex worker. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh,
It's
uh-huh,
like
uh-huh. Yeah.
when I call you, when you want to, if I call you and you're available, you're available. If you're not, you're not. That's it.
Hmm.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? If I want to throw a bag at you, I'll throw a bag at you. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just really think, I honestly think that a lot of modern women are not going. They're setting a dangerous game up that they're not going to win. They're not going to win this game.
Yep.
They're not
Yep.
going to win this game.
I agree.
Selflessness is reciprocated and returned back to you. But if you are selfish and you have the mindset that you should always put yourself first, often you just create resentment in your partner and they become very tired of this setup and start resenting you because they are expected to constantly put you first, yet you don't seem to be doing that for them. Selfishness in a relationship is counterintuitive because you need to be willing to compromise and you also need to be willing to try and understand the other person's perspective during disagreements. Someone who has the belief that they should always put themselves first is not someone who is very likely to do that. Now, this is probably more of a side note, okay? But one of the things I don't like about this genre of content is that it's kind of intertwined with the whole manifestation woo-woo. Whoever introduced the concept of manifestation dating advice to women honestly needs jail time. Because one of the things that these influencers say is this idea that you should never chase a man or you should never go looking for love. You should just let it come to you because you can just attract it.
Because I am so detached, I am also not desperate. I don't chase for things. I let things come to me. Because you know what the thing is? When you're chasing, it means that you're not whole. And what you chase will run from you. This is always the case. But if you're whole and if you're vibrating on a high level, then you can just sit back and relax because those things will automatically be attracted to you. You know, I've seen this many times when women, for example, go out or men and desperately are looking for love. They don't get love because they're desperate. But once you make that click in your head, you know what? Let it just come to me. It always shows up. He always does.
Now, this is a very common thing that you'll hear women say. This idea that love will just find you.
Just trust me, repeat after me. I don't chase, I attract. What belongs to me will simply find me. The partner I seek is also seeking me, and I now release any blocks that are standing between us. I always get princess treatment, and it is always working out for me.
One of the most
God. And then you're surprised that the players are all up on this, right? They come up to these women and just play with these women.
Annoying dating advice out there is this idea that you must go out to find love. As a homebody, I take it personally. Essentially, if you're a homebody and you're at home, love is not going to come knocking at your door. And it actually can. Love is one of the things as human beings we don't have control over. It's fate, it's destiny, it's beyond us, it's above us.
And I have no idea how to put this, but those who don't ask don't get. If you don't go after something, odds of you getting it very low. I do think you absolutely more than ever have to be very intentional about your love life if this is something that you want for yourself. Because it is complete delusional nonsense. This idea that you can just exist and you can somehow just attract your husband to you, especially because no one would apply this to any other context. Imagine someone saying to you, do you know what? I want to be lean and I want to be in great shape, but I'm not going to go chase that body. I'm not going to actively go and seek it. I'm just going to attract it. If I just believe, then I will receive. There's a cynical part of me that wonders if this is some form of intersexual competition where women are encouraging other women to have this delusional perspective so that they essentially cancel themselves out of the dating pool. Because if you're at home trying to manifest your future husband, then you're definitely not going to be going out there and meeting any guy. Now, I do agree that you definitely should not seek love from a place of desperation because people who are desperate don't make the best choices. But I also think you do need to put yourself in environments where meeting a potential partner is a lot more likely and it's not your house. I think we need to start getting serious, okay? People need to start behaving because this is getting ridiculous. So ultimately, I think the rise in the popularity of this content, as well as the people making it, is a very big sign about the current state of modern dating. Both sexes seem to be struggling to deal with the unpredictable and volatile dating market, and so they're very much gravitating towards these online influencers to try and help them navigate it. I think this is especially true for women who have been burnt in love. I remember watching a video by Gigi Beauty where she discussed to her audience how she's getting a divorce. And within the video, she played a clip by Shara7.
Now, let me tell you why, and I'm so sorry I have to tell you that way. But if you gotta help a man, he don't want you. He don't like you if you gotta help him. Let me tell you why. Because he should be helping you. You're too masculine for him. Every time he sees you, he's gonna see the help that he needed. Every time he sees you, he's gonna see the struggle that he was in. Every time he sees you, it's gonna remind him that he was not enough and he couldn't get his own place on his own. So guess what? He's used you. He clapped on your back. He got a place. And now whoever he moves in next is gonna see him as a real man. You don't help men. That is very masculine of you. Men are
Absolutely stupid. And again, this is the problem, right? You are seeing a woman in like listening to these delusional women, right? it's like this is absolutely ridiculous that you don't help a man.
Mhm.
This is why women like this will only attract the terrible ass men. I'm sorry, like a good man, if you ain't helping me, if you're not doing anything for me, you're just a user. What
Mhm.
like I said, the only men that would be attracted to that mindset are simps, right? Because they're weak to women, right? They're weak to women in lust, and players, which are weak to women in lust as well, right? Those are the
Mhm.
only two types of men that would be attracted to women with these types of mentality, because they both of them don't give a shit, because both
Mhm.
of them are weak to women and lust.
Mhm. And that, first of all, that woman looks evil. She looks evil. She looks like some.
Mhm.
Oh, I don't know. Like you said, men are weak to their impulses. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Because she shouldn't even be dating. And if these women keep on taking these women, other women, these crazy women's advice, they're gonna end up alone. They're gonna end up alone because everybody doesn't get the fairy tale prince. Everybody doesn't get that, you know. And I just want to talk to Three Kings. Three Kings is tripping, and that's what men are doing. To to speak on your statement, that's what men are doing, and women are losing their minds.
Yeah, yeah.
Men are worrying about themselves and take care of their own business and be trying to become better men, and women are losing their minds because of it. They're losing their minds. They don't know what to do. They're sitting there, why I'm not getting approached? Because you're crazy. You're evil. You're crazy. Sorry.
No, I agree. I agree. And this is the thing. Right? This is why I love my chat. Right? These are men that's been through it. These men are that are stronger now. I mean, like I've been there. I've said it right. Just like Steve said, right? We've all been through this shit, right? I've been that weak man before, so I don't subscribe to that weak man shit anymore. That's why I mean I sympathize. This is why I sympathize with those men, right? Particularly with the simps. I mean, we've been there, right? We've been fools, we've been idiots, we've been weak to our to women and lust, and we've gone out of it, with battle scars. So definitely we gotta I promote my brothers to I promote anyone that's watching to improve to yes, like Three Kings says, right? Think about yourself, improve yourself, enlighten yourself. That's what we gotta do.
Men are protectors, not the women. You have repelled him with your masculine energy. Don't do it no more. You learned a lesson. Don't repeat. Don't ever hit a man. This was helping you, darling.
One thing I've realized, about that Shira woman, this woman here, I don't know if you've watched her videos. Now that I go back and I listen to a lot of her videos that I've experienced now with my situation, she is speaking nothing but facts.
Now, I can completely understand why Shara Seven's message resonated with her, because she is that woman that Shara was describing, the woman who supported her man, who did everything for her man, because Gigi was the main provider in her relationship. She has said that before in other videos, and yet he cheated on her. And so I can see why someone who's coming from that background might be looking at their past actions and seeing how and why they might have ended up there. And so I think what a lot of these women are doing is...
But this is why I've said this before, right? I think women benefit more from listening to men than listening to women. Because a man would tell you, girl, you ride or die for a Pookie. What do you think you're getting? Right? What do you think you're doing? You ride or die for the Chads, the Tyrones, the players, the bad boys. Are you stupid? Right? Like being a good woman to a bad man is exactly that. You are a good woman to a bad man. So now you want to be a bad woman to a good man? That doesn't make sense at all. The problem was the man you chose, not you, right? Not in totality of you, right? If you were a good woman, that you were a good woman. Doesn't mean that you should change how that is. You just picked wrong. You vetted the wrong man. Accept that fact, right? And just find a better man, vet men properly, get a good man, and be a good woman to a good man. Your problem was you were a good woman to a bad man, period.
Yes, and people can say whatever they want to about like old societies, and but it was a reason why your father and your brother
Mm,
picked who
mm,
you mess with, because you
mhm,
can't
mhm.
tell. Anybody can just tell you. I hate to say it, but in a way, it's like gullibility. Usually, women are gullible.
Mm.
They fall for anything. They go for anything, and that was the reason why it was protection. And that's what's really sad to me about feminism in general is that a lot of things were set up to protect women. Now they're not going to survive the game they're setting up. Like I said, the game they're setting up, it's not going to go well for them. You know, and like this comment just said that this person said that they've always looked up to their male teachers and stuff because they could handle power. A lot of women cannot, not all, but a lot of women cannot handle the power. They go crazy. They trauma
Mm,
dump. They go crazy. And then a lot of women be like, they understand in the back of their mind we're competing for the same kind of man. So let me teach you. Let me make you crazy so you can get out of the way. So I can step up and get what you could have gotten. That's what's crazy to me. Like, for real.
mhm, mhm.
is they've probably been hurt in the past, and so they're trying to find ways to understand how they could have potentially ended up there so they can try not to do it again. But here's the problem. There are men out there right now as we speak who are cheating on the women they provide for. There are also men out there right now.
Three Kings. Bad versus good is subjective, sir. Some women like bad men, and that's okay. Let them. Just don't invest in those women. I agree and disagree, right? In the sense that, let's say this, okay? Of course, we're adults. Date who you want to date. I don't give a shit. My problem is, right? The same women, just like that last woman, right? You date bad men, you come out here and say either all men are bad or you know what? Now I'm going to be the user of the next man, right? I'm going to find a good man and I'm going to use him. So, yes, I agree. You want to date whoever you want to date, that's up to you. The issue is that now that a lot of these women come out of these bad relationships with trauma, so they honestly they destroy the next man, right? If they find a good man, or you know, they just become they further push. Oh, all men. I mean, if you seen my last lie, right? Saying men are evil, men are sexist, men are that. Then you come out pushing this narrative because you're traumatized by men you chose, right? These are the men you chose to date. You chose them, and now because they hate you, because they hurt you, you come out of this relationship saying all men are bad, all men are evil, all men are sexist, all men are misogynistic, right? And that is also a dangerous thing. That because words matter, words are powerful, and sadly, we have a generation of people who's very intertwined with social media. So we have young men growing up to think that, oh my God, being a man is terrible. No wonder why we're seeing a huge amount of men changing into being women, right? The weakness of men. And again, I agree, right? If you're weak, you're weak. But, we would hope we actually care about each other, right? We care about each other a little bit. So it's better to talk about it and warn other people and just, point it out. So that's my thing.
I, I I gotta speak on Three Kings because he's kind of getting to me, or they are kind of getting to me. I would like to know how old you are and how many relationships you've been in because you are talking very novice beginner. You're talking like a beginner, like you have not gone through anything. It's like wild to me for you to have that opinion, and it's like, have you been through anything? Like, like, have you been through anything? Do you know? Like, they comment going back to that comment. There was oh well,
Yeah.
mention no, mention no. What? Are you serious? How many
I,
women lie?
It's probably just challenging our views. He's just probably challenging our views. So I don't mind. I don't mind to be challenged. And here's the thing where Connor said it, right? But at the same time, we can always enlighten those women on who's bad and good, or enlighten those men, right? This is the point where I think it's a great thing that we talk, right? Because hopefully we can enlighten each other. Because like I said, right? Like even Steve says, and I'm pretty sure Big Bars know it. We've been through this shit. So sharing our viewpoints, sharing, the lives we lived is a good thing for others to, understand that there's other viewpoints, there's other, perspectives. So
It's the saying that I hold dear to me myself. That a smart man learns from his own mistakes, and a wise man learns from others. And I think people would
Yeah.
do good to let that sink in a little bit, because if you can't listen to people and see what they're talking about, you're gonna fall for the same. You're gonna fall in the same hole. You're gonna fall in the same hole I fell in. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying?
Hmm.
I'm speaking so you don't fall in the hole. I'm
Yeah.
trying to get you to walk around it. But if you want to fall in it,
Yeah.
hey, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what I said. We're all adults. You want no one see. This is the thing where this is why I do love more men's space. You do what you want to do, right? Men, we men is like, oh, you want to suffer? Go for it. No one forces other men to do anything, right? But I think it's a good thing that we actually talk about it. So no, like you can't say, oh, I didn't know. You did. You were just too stupid, too much of a simp to actually wake up. So
Or too arrogant. Too
yeah.
arrogant.
Yeah.
As we speak, cheating on women they're going 50-50 with. Cheating is something that can happen to anyone. There is no guaranteed, perfect, unique formula that prevents you from being betrayed. But of course, as I said, it's very natural for people who have been hurt to search for answers so that they can try and prevent it from happening again. And that's why this kind of advice is so appealing, because it gives women the illusion that if they simply detach more, if they're more strategic, and if they find a way to have more leverage, they can prevent themselves from being in painful situations romantically. These messages, like always be 1 foot in and 1 foot out, never allow yourself to love more, always make sure you're the one benefiting. These are all things that make women feel like they're more in control. It allows them to guard themselves from the risk that can come with loving someone. But unfortunately, love is indeed a risky game, and the risk of being hurt kind of comes with the territory. And there was a time when we understood and knew that, which is why we have those cliches like, it's better to have loved and lost than to have never loved at all. But it does seem like in today's time, when people in general are very risk averse, many young women are gravitating towards these creators as a way to try and find ways to navigate dating in a way where it's low risk and prevents them from being hurt. But if you spend your entire time within a relationship trying to not experience heartbreak, you might also unintentionally stop yourself experiencing genuine intimacy and love. But those are just my thoughts. I would love to know what you think about this. Have you watched any of the creators discussed in this video, and have you found their advice helpful? Do you also think that maybe the advice that people are getting nowadays on dating is becoming more and more extreme, and in the process making many people undateable? I'd be very interested to know what your thoughts are on this topic in the comments, so do let me know.
I thought she was good, right? I think I like her take sometimes, right? Very logical. Some things I agree, some things I don't agree, but I like her take. More reasonable than women in average, right? All right. So this is one thing like I talk about with women on dating. I thought another topic, with women loving talking about is abortion, right? So I wanted to show another video of women being honest. This is a thing where we also have women in colleges, right? This is why I said that women have no good role models, no good teachers, because women are sadly just becoming more emotional instead of logical. And that's the issue I have where I think men are growing to become more logical, right? And trying to step away from being so emotional. I think there was a period of time where men were highly emotional. Hopefully it's a slow step, right? But I hope men can step away to be more logical than emotional, because you're just going to be thinking like a woman. Sean, what is up, my brother? What is up? Thank you for being here. So let's check this one out. I think this one, I always think that women make such stupid arguments when it comes to the abortion thing, because it just shows you how idiotic you are. But let's check this one out.
Right, you were never given reparation because they were entitled into the Constitution as white men.
Yeah, I affirm I am a white male.
Can you name a white abolitionist word? Could you tell me how many ovaries a woman has? Do you know what this is? Oh, so we agree with the condone of rape as well.
Well, no, that's only if you can't read.
We got laughed at, we got ridiculed, we got yelled at, we got shit thrown at us. I love women.
Calm down.
No rights, I promise.
Calm down.
I promise.
Again, determines whether or not I can oppose the destruction of my preborn neighbors.
No, I think what's in your pants is actually kind of what determines.
The possession of a penis means I believe in human rights.
No, I mean, I think you can believe in human rights, for sure.
Do you believe in human rights?
Yeah, of course I do, but...
You believe in the rights of this little human?
Do you... Here, can I ask you a couple questions?
Yes.
Okay, this would be great.
Yeah.
So, obviously I'm saying that you can have human rights, but could you tell me a time when, like, white males got civil liberties in, I don't know, either the Constitution, the Bill of Rights? Is there ever a time when you were
when white males were
specifically like resolutions, right? Not that you just gained it, but
Yeah, no,
did
so-
you ever gain one?
No, so even the founding documents for this particular country. So thank you. The way that it was written was, we hold these truths to be self-evident, which is to be acknowledging that they're coming from outside of us. They're not coming from our documents. These truths are
So
self-evident.
I'm asking about the Bill of Rights, written
Right.
by morals.
Right, but
Did you ever
the
get
self.
granted a right? That's all I'm asking.
No
Yes
one's
or no?
granted rights. We have rights as
Okay,
being
so
human.
14, 15, 16 amendment.
So whenever they decided, you know what, we're being hypocritical and inconsistent, we have not yet given the right to liberty to all humans in this country.
I agree.
They amended the Constitution, which had a few places that were kind of, allowing oppression. And so the framers who said, hey, we're going to found a nation, we're going to acknowledge these inalienable rights, life, liberty, pursuit of happiness.
Yeah, Three Kings. I love it. Right? It's okay that you want to challenge my views. I'm always down for it. I think the woman in the last woman was I agree with a lot of her takes. Right? I agree with a lot of takes. So I'm down, my brother. I hope I hope you are a member, and I hope you could. I'm always down for people to challenge my views. So thank you.
These are endowed by the Creator. Then they said, you know what? We have in bondage like millions of people in our population. We're depriving them of liberty. We have to change this. And so abolitionists in that.
Self-evident.
Yeah, so where are you going with it? I'm interested in. Well, people had to fight. So this country was founded by. Yeah, so white people had to come to this country to fight for rights.
Anything in the Bill of Rights where you had to have reparations.
To have reparations?
Yes, reparations.
No.
Yes.
I don't think so.
Why do you think so?
Well, I was born in 1980, so I'm just a guy born in the United States of America.
And I'm a girl born in 2007.
Yeah, we're super privileged. We have the right to life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. We're not deprived of anything.
We were given a Bill of Rights because there was no necessary need
Yeah,
for
I'm interested in where you're going. So go ahead.
Okay, so we can agree you were never given a Bill of Rights. You were never given reparations because
Well, reparations is different. Okay.
Where people either get a benefit as a somewhat apology of that, whether it's financial, economic.
Trying to make it right. Trying to rewrite the scales. That sort of thing. Yeah.
Exactly what I just defined. Great. So we agree on the definition of reparations as well.
And how this connects to
The Constitution
the human rights.
has all of a white male's rights listed right into it. Right.
Okay.
That's why you
That's
don't
not how the
need
Constitution
any-
is, right? Okay.
Right. The Bill of Rights also has all your rights entailed.
Yeah.
into it. There's no
It's supposed to be applying to everybody, but as I acknowledge, they had
Yeah,
hypocrisy.
except that's why we had the 14th, 15th, 16th Amendment,
Okay.
where I got my rights and where he got his
Not
rights.
where you got your right to life.
Oh, yeah.
It's never been.
So I have-
It's never been legally permissible to murder someone because they were a woman, for instance. That's never been legal. Like, there's not a law on our books ever at any point in time in this country saying simply by the fact that you're a woman you can be murdered. But there are laws saying simply by the fact that you are not yet on the outside of a womb you can be murdered.
But there was laws that said
There used to be laws prohibiting abortion as murder. Yes.
no, there was laws that prohibited or allowed minority groups to be killed. Gender goes on a separate scale. But
Yeah. Okay, I'm
she
tracking
said
with you. I'm fine with you.
people of any minority group,
Yeah.
specifically
Not necessarily.
African individuals.
Yeah, and abolitionists fought for those rights.
It was legal to kill those individuals.
Yeah, because they.
Otherwise,
Yes.
you would be saying that slavery.
Yeah, no, so what it was is that you could kill a slave and the slaveholder would dehumanize them and justify their destruction on account of their race or their country of origin, or classify them as chattel that had been bought, right? So what would happen is Christians would stand up and say, no, the African slave is every bit an image bearer of God and deserve every bit rights, and you cannot murder them.
Legally within the UN.
Right, and abolitionists, there were people who were allowed to be killed. Abolitionists said this is not right, stood abolition of those unjust laws and cultural practices so that people who were being dehumanized and destroyed would then be brought under the protection of the law. So yeah, I'm tracking you. This is my whole game.
Summarize this. We agree that specifically based on both gender and openness.
Yeah, I affirm I'm a white male. Yes.
Where's your ethos?
My ethos?
Your ethos.
My ethos. Why do I have to have credibility? So right now, the only human group in our culture that is allowed to be murdered under the color of our laws are preborn humans. So preborn humans can't stand up for themselves, obviously. They're too small, they're too weak, they're too innocent, they can't do it. So born humans have to stand up and say, hey, these humans that our culture dehumanizes and destroys, like our earlier culture dehumanized and destroyed these humans.
Never had any reparations or fight for rights. You also
So
don't
you,
have a uterus and have talked about how we literally have no necessary for you are a white male.
because it's not a necessity.
fight
It's
for
not a
your
necessary.
How can you stand here and say
The same way
something
that
about my body specifically?
I'm not saying anything about your body. Leave your body alone.
Anything's growing my.
Oh,
That's my point.
I grew in a woman's body. You grew in a woman's body.
We've agreed. You didn't have a necessary for reparations. Didn't have a necessary.
I still don't understand what the reparations comes into it, but
because your rights were pre-given to you as white men.
as are yours.
Yes.
Your rights you have as a
Therefore,
human.
where is your credibility to be talking about anything political? School.
Yeah, I've already done the school thing a long time. So the answer is just like a white abolitionist who saw the plight of their.
Can you name a white abolitionist?
I can name, I don't know, 100.
Hey.
William Lloyd Garrison, Wendell Phillips, Elijah Lovejoy, James Burney. I'm a historian of the 19th century. I know the names of the abolitionists. I know the white ones, the black ones, the males, the females. They believed that human beings were made in the image of God and that you could not treat them as animals. Just like we believe human beings are made in the image of God and you cannot treat them like body parts.
I am vegetarian, so if we're killing things that don't have voices.
Well, I said human beings.
At the line. So dogs, cats, animals, you draw the line specifically.
We need to be humane towards them because we are image bearers and we ought to have a humane dominion towards animals. But yes, I, like you, do draw the line between humans. Certainly I do. I'm a human being that's standing up for little human beings that can't stand up for themselves.
You believe you have the full understanding of this picture. So you'd be able to answer questions that I had about the human body, for example.
Oh, I'm not a physiologist. I can't answer all questions about the human body.
Could you tell me how many ovaries a woman has?
Like what? Hold on a second. Let me ask you. If I said 2 ovaries, the question is does knowledge of
how many ovaries does a woman?
How many cells are there in your body right now?
How many cells? They're constantly repopulating.
Right, but what's the number right now? No, what's the number right now?
1,000 cells die per minute. 1,000 cells are going to be
No, I need an exact number. And if you can't give me an exact number, you lose your credibility. It's a fallacious way of. No, you don't know the number. No one knows the number. You can't know the number. The reason I'm pointing it out.
Because I've taken a basic biology class.
Yeah, I took that 25 years ago.
How many ovaries a woman has?
2 ovaries. Listen, I want to go. How many ovaries a woman has? Like 2 ovaries, 3 ovaries, 12 ovaries?
Yeah.
Like what I want you to understand is someone having the
approximately 300 million to over 400 million cells die every minute in an adult human. This is why I'm sorry. It's like this is the problem we have, right? It's like women aren't logical; they're emotional, right? They're not illogical at all. They think that they are, but they're not, right? So really, literally, she says something stupid and really false, and she based it on that. If you can't say this, that means you have no credibility to say anything else. Yet she said something wrong. That means what? All the things she says is wrong and absolutely stupid.
The crazy thing is, this speaks against teaching your children and not spending $100,000 a year to send them to school. Because if her teachers was worth a damn, she would not be that dense. She is dense as I don't know what. She don't know what she's talking about. She keeps talking about reparations. It's like you don't even know what words mean.
Yeah.
You don't even know what you're talking about. It's like you just coming on talking. You don't even know what you're talking about. That's crazy.
That's why it just makes them look stupid.
Ability.
Hold on a second. How many trimesters are there?
3.
Okay. How are those ranges split up? How many months are in each term?
Look, the first trimester is your first 12. None of this matters.
Yeah, that's because you're the one standing at.
Here's what matters.
And you can't even tell me how many ovaries a woman has.
Listen, 2 ovaries. Here's what I want you to understand. If I say was an anatomy professor and I can answer all your questions, what would that have to do with anything?
Your ethos. I'm a political science major. I don't do STEM. I don't do biology. I don't do anything.
Good, and you don't need to.
But if I'm going to
He literally said right. 2 ovaries. It's like what? I swear to God, women think that they can go logic with men. They can't.
She just wants to do whatever she wants to do. That's the thing. I think more men need to understand that. Women just want to do whatever they want to do. They think they can do whatever. They think they can waste their whole 20s and flip a switch and in their 30s get wifed up. They think that. And it's not the truth. It's not the truth. If somebody knows you're the 304, you will be unalived at 304. That's it. You're gonna pass away as the 304. That's it. And she is nothing but concubine to me. You know what I'm saying? I would look at her I would hear her talking. I'll be like, okay, I know exactly where to put you at because you're not smart. She's not smart. She thinks she is, but she thinks she is. She thinks she's smart, but she's not.
Exactly. And I agree, Connor. I mean, like, I think people should take a critical thinking class. They definitely should.
On a liberal campus,
If you
and I
believe
can't
that
tell
human
any of these
beings
people
are
how
being
many
oppressed,
ovaries
if
a
you
woman has.
believe Jew ovaries,
12.
I already said
You
it.
think
I
women
already
have
said it.
12 ovaries?
No, I said 2, then I said 12.
Because if you're gonna
Yeah,
argue something,
because it doesn't matter. Oh, no. Listen, please. Let's reason. No, let's please reason. An ovary is not a human being. Human beings
Where does a human being
are being oppressed,
Do you know where
murdered,
a baby
and
is
destroyed.
from?
Human beings are oppressed.
Okay,
Yes.
so what
A
part,
class of human beings is specifically outlined as
what part is
a
this?
group that you can murder.
Do you know what this is? Do you
That's-
know where this baby is? In the
Thi-
human body. What
No,
is
this
that?
baby is not in the human body. This baby has been violently removed from the human body. It is in a dish. It is being examined, and someone is pointing out via scale a number 2 pencil, or it could be a number 3 pencil, but I don't need to know the number of the pencil. This human being is at 7 weeks. It's a general age of an early abortion, first trimester.
You definitely don't want to get into the photo because the photo is
Well, we can use photos on your phone.
no, but the photo is clearly artificial intelligence, including the fact that
No. This photo
this
predates
is in a
AI.
petri dish.
This photo
Plus the
predates.
fact that this wouldn't come out.
Listen,
if
this
you
photo
believe
predates all this.
all of this.
You
would
look
be
up on your
inside of
phone 7
This
week
is
human
used for a
fetus.
comparison to show you how big the baby is.
That's exactly
There's
what I
no
just said.
Actual pencil. The baby's not removing.
Can you imagine trying to talk down to somebody and make them feel uneducated and using the word removing? Idiot, this baby's not removing.
Yeah, no.
This
This is
would come
this is
out
for
of your
scale.
body
Exactly what I
and
said.
taken-
If you get on your phone and you put in 7-week-old human fetus,
It's very
right?
simple, we agree.
right,
You know
and
this
then
baby
you
grows?
chop them up. It made its way into the uterus, right? So it's conceived in the fallopian tubes, probably up in the ampulla, the child or the mother and the father together.
And do you know what?
So it's an
tri-
active
trimester of the 7 weeks is that?
first trimester. We already talked about this. It doesn't. It
It doesn't matter. 'cause
it
you're the one
matters.
standing
No.
on this
What
baby.
matters?
I should be less educated than you because you're the one.
You
making
you
these-
probably are, but I don't want it to make it about
Oh,
that.
right, because I don't
Yeah.
know how many ovaries in a woman's body. I know where this was conceived.
What
can
I
tell
want to
the
make it
difference
about
between a
is where
baby
you
and out
started.
of the womb.
Remember where you started about the right stuff? Abolitionists stand up in cultures where there are human beings who are being dehumanized and destroyed, and they are not being protected with this
But this is your
inalienable
right.
equality
This is
that
your
we're supposed to have.
Again,
My right is to advocate for my neighbors. So-
your neighbors.
yeah,
This is
my,
your neighbor.
my fellow man.
You
Yes,
have children.
yes, I do.
What makes you think you have the right to argue against women about their own bodies?
Well, I'm not arguing with women about their bodies. It's the body inside of their body who is a fellow human being, and that human being can be murdered. And I don't think that that's right or just. If we're going to have laws against murder, they should be applied equally to all people. Just as you point out that the slave wasn't properly protected and there needed to be abolitionists who stood up.
Speak for themselves.
The
And
preborn
white males
child.
did not speak up for them. You claim
No, we
that
already
white
talked about it. We already talked about it.
For Black African
Yes.
Americans,
Yes, they did.
completely undermines the ability of those minority groups.
No. It's perfectly fine for white Americans who thought slavery was wrong to stand up. No,
To get their rights.
it's doing
That
both
doesn't
ways.
even include everybody from Asian American groups who also had the largest mass lynching in the United States.
Yeah.
7 of
Also
them.
wrong, right? Also
About
wrong.
2 hours from
Also
here
wrong,
in
right?
Chinatown, right?
And when
Those
you stand
people
up
that
against
speak
it, that's right.
You and a group
Yeah.
of white males were the ones to repress those voices.
To
in the
repress
first
them.
place. Now,
I don't win arguments
these
by
individuals-
pointing out when people misspeak, but
now,
you use a
when these
different word there.
individuals do have their rights, and we have these.
It was okay for black and white abolitionists, male and female, to
You
stand up
repress
for
our voice,
the right.
your voice,
No, it's not to repress your voice.
their voice.
You have a voice.
Yeah, because
You actually have more rights than I
And
do
so did
because
Black African
you have the right to
So did
terminate your
Chinese
children
Americans,
and I
some
do
Asian
not.
Americans. They all had voices, and they were repressed.
It's one more right. Mothers in this country have special rights to terminate the children in their
Is the
womb
wage gap
in
your
the
one more
event.
right? Is the wage gap your one
No,
more
I don't
right?
think anyone's inferior to anyone. I think we're all
Well, what
equal.
about wage gap? That equals us out again. Wage gap is a beneficial right too.
Yeah. I'm not
And
I'm
also,
not
again, you
arguing about
argue-
wage gaps.
argue
I'm saying there is a
you never had-
specific.
God, wage gaps. Like, seriously, the sheer stupidity. One, the wage gap is a myth, right? At best, women are making 1 penny less than a man, right? At best. The wage gap is a myth. This is why women, I swear to God, women should stop listening to women, right? Stop listening
It's
to women. Stop
insufferable.
listening to these liberal ass teachers because they're just making you stupid.
Yes. She's insufferable. She is. And she's not smart. She's not even smart. She's not even she almost doesn't have basic intelligence to walk down the street. To me, you know what I'm saying? It's like you're just like, what are you talking about? And
Yeah.
this what gets me about men versus women. Uh, she cannot admit that she's wrong. She's lost several times. She's been proven that she's wrong several times, and she can't just be like, "Oh, I don't know about that." "Oh, okay, you got me." Yeah, she cannot. She refuses to admit any loss. That's a problem, and you just look stupid. You look foolish.
That's why she has to change the goalposts, right? She has to bring other stuff into it.
It's crazy. She could say reparations.
In our culture
Yeah.
that is deprived of the right to life, if we could have actual equality and bring all human beings under the same laws, so the laws protecting you from murder were applied to everyone who was a human being, that would be a just society, and it wouldn't hurt women. Well, it's viable in the one place it's viable, and that is the womb. At 7 weeks, the only place.
Do you know the pain level of a
The
penis
baby
at 7
is
weeks?
alive. No pain. I don't think they have the nerve endings for that.
They don't at all.
But murder isn't murder because it's painful.
Equivalent
Yes.
to picking up.
I know, but as I've said, it's a human being. There are some humans that don't have the ability to feel pain because of a genetic mutation in their development. They can't feel pain. But if you murdered them, it would still be murder. It's taking a human being who is alive and then making them dead. They are they alive or are they dead? Are they alive or are they dead? Let's just go slow. Are they alive or are they dead? I'm not asking about nerve endings. Are they alive or are they dead?
They're literally dead. They're forming human beings.
Do they
They're
exist?
not alive until they actually create a brain.
Well,
a
why
heart,
do you have to
they
abort
can
them
be
if they're not alive?
because they're going to become alive.
No, they're alive. They're
Pain
living.
doesn't exist in the
They're
first trimester.
developing.
Take them out by the first trimester.
They're developing.
There's
Interesting
no-
argument.
There's no harm.
They're developing in the womb where they're supposed to develop, where you develop, where you develop, where we all developed. All of us have this human experience in common. We developed in the womb. We also developed outside of the womb. We couldn't live on our own until we were 5, but we could live in this specific environment, nurtured by our mother,
We're not alive in
via
the first trimester.
the processes designed in her body to do that. And if you don't arrest them by chemical abortion or surgical abortion, they will continue to live. That is precisely where what's that?
Chemical abortion. Can you explain the processes of chemical abortion to us?
It's the main primary way that abortions happen. Yeah, by taking misoprostol and mifepristone.
Misoprostol?
Misoprostol.
Misoprostol. Okay, so explain
Yeah,
to us
and
what
mifepristone.
misoprostol
So you take 2 drugs. One kills the child, and the other contracts the uterus, expelling the body.
And
So there's no infection.
The general public within, like, let's say
Yes.
a Vons or a
Yeah,
7-Eleven
yeah.
or
You can order them on your phone right now, and they'll be to you in 3 days. Actually, you can get them way quicker if you need them. So neither of you have had an abortion. Neither of you have been with child. Said, "I'm not ready to be with child."
Yeah, exactly.
You don't have to ask. You don't have to answer. But I can
Our
ask.
privacy is our privacy.
Yeah, you
our
can-
bodies are our bodies.
You can keep it secret.
asking
But I'm
us
saying, like,
if
you
we've
didn't
had
know.
abortions
You didn't know what a chemical
as
abortion
a
was.
45-year-old male asking
Yeah.
us if
It's
we've had
perfectly.
abortions.
It's perfectly okay if you don't answer.
I'm 18. You're 19.
Yeah, it's okay if you don't
Have
answer,
we
but
had
it's okay if I ask.
No, of course we have.
You can ask me if I had an abortion. You can ask me if I've had miscarriages. And all
You
this
don't
stuff.
have a uterus. You can't have a miscarriage
I've lost 2 children in the womb. Yes, I have.
from abortion.
No, from miscarriage.
Yes, and that's a whole
So
thing.
my wife and I have suffered the
And
loss
I'm
of
so
children
sorry.
in the
With
womb.
things like this,
It is tragic, but we didn't intend to do it. Why is it tragic?
Females are content. Like,
Hold on. Why is a miscarriage tragic? Why?
Because there was like a fatal malformation with the baby.
But why is it tragic? Is it because someone died? Is it because Jane, my daughter, died when she was 6 weeks old? That's why it's tragic, because I lost a child. But someone else chooses it, and it's not tragic. It should be celebrated.
Let me ask. You're older. You have.
There's all sorts of reasons to murder other people. That doesn't make it valid. Just having reasons.
A woman who is choosing to abort her child carries through with the birth instead because she's forced to. She can't get an abortion, and that.
God, it's like this is a thing where women don't understand, right? Fine, you don't want to have a child, don't have sex. Women's argument is, so we can't have sex? Yeah, you shouldn't. Stop it. Stop being hoes. Stop being 304s. Stop being sluts. Stop it. This is why one of the things I agree with, like Myron from Fresh and Fit, we should shame women. I'm sorry. Stop being a slut. Stop giving your body to every fucking, like, I don't know, Chad Tyrone out there. I'm sorry. Right? Women are dirty nowadays. What happened to being a lady? What happened to respecting your body? What happened to it being a temple? Right? Women are like, oh, what? We can't have sex? You shouldn't. Right? I mean, like, seriously, if you're going to have sex, be it with someone that you actually want a future with. Stop it with these casual datings, these hookup culture, these roster shit, this like I'm just playing around. This is why this is another problem why dating sucks, right? Women are fine with just giving their bodies to the Chaz, the Pookies, the Tyrones, right? And yet they think, oh wow, I can't abort the babies I'm forced to now. You weren't forced to, right? But just like how women don't mind like getting divorced, you made a commitment. I'm sorry. You have a baby, it's a commitment. You get married, it's a commitment. Why is it women who are so easily to give up that fucking commitment is insane? And yet they think that, oh, they have to put that commitment on men. How dare men, be terrible fathers or be terrible husbands? Yet we can't hold the same kind of, same kind of restrictions or standards to women. No, you chose to have sex. Sadly, you got pregnant. You are stupid. You let him shoot the club up. Absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, she's insufferable. At least the girl in the red is you. She seem like you can have a conversation with her at least. But that other one, she wants to be a 304. She believes that she can do whatever she wants, and somebody's supposed to still take care of her, and that's crazy.
Yeah.
And I think that it's usually like in the 30s that women have to deal with the repercussions of their actions, but I think it's coming, it's going down and down and down. You know what I'm saying? You have women in college that no man will touch with a pole because they are like her. Any man who's worth anything, any man who sees the future and what he's doing, don't talk to a woman like that. Don't.
Yeah.
She's going to destroy it. She's going to destroy everything you hold dear. That's my opinion.
I agree.
That child is birthed into poverty, into homelessness.
Like they would have been better off dead.
No, I'm not saying they'd be better off dead, but I'm saying they grow up with a child that's not supported.
Yeah. And there are lots of children in our culture who are not supported, that have rough, terrible lives, and we can actually look at them. Like you could look at a newborn, for instance, and you could look at their situation, their family, and you could say, you're going to have a terrible, awful life. I'm just going to put a pillow over your face and press down for the next minute.
Well, that's somebody who's
No, but the logic of what you're arguing, if abortion is justified on account,
a child suffocating a child
you
is
could
a
give
completely different argument.
yeah, you could give the newborn, drugs, passing them out, they don't feel anything, and you could kill them. Yeah.
It's inappropriate.
What's inappropriate? Standing up for little children?
So inappropriate.
It's not appropriate. Abolitionists are going to stand up in cultures where people dehumanize and destroy human beings, and they're going to run into this situation until we achieve equality for all humans. And in every age, there's a different kind of evil. And in every age, there's a different kind of proponent for that evil. And you're making certainly.
I did not see that. I'm wondering.
It's so a lot of people say,
So we agree with the condone of rape as well.
well, no, that's only if you can't read.
My God.
Which of these human beings was conceived in rape?
And which of these children does not have the right to live? You understand the rhetorical use of these words? I believe rape is a capital crime and should be punished with death.
So do you believe the child is also okay?
I believe a child conceived in rape is fully human, ought to be loved, protected. You don't?
But what if she can't?
There are rape-conceived human beings on this campus. Are you saying that they don't?
Their mothers may have not had a choice.
You have no consideration for the mother at all.
No, so the point of the sign for people who have the ability to process arguments and reason,
do you think
it's saying you can't tell
in the eyes of their rapist in their own child?
I don't know if they want to see
the
it.
eyeballs of the man who raped them.
No, that what they want is to punish the rapist, right, and not the child, if they're just. Because the rapist committed a crime.
Is the government going to find these children?
See, as someone who knows the mothers of children conceived in rape, I don't look at little babies and think of them as rape spawn or rapists.
The eyeballs of the man who raped them in
Yeah.
their own child.
Or see them as rapists. Yeah, I know. The mothers of rape conceived children don't think of it that way either. When my decisions violate another human being, like so whenever a man chooses to rape a woman, he is violating.
When a man decides to rape a woman, he is violating the rights of a woman. Then tell me what this sign says.
This has nothing to do with the sign. The sign that she's holding is actually saying that children conceived in rape are valuable image bearers, just like children.
People, but that doesn't mean that a woman.
All right, notice real quick that she held a sign making a point about how rape conceived children are every bit as human and ought to be loved equally with all other humans, because you can't tell the difference between a rape conceived person and a non-rape conceived person, right? You can't tell. So the point of the sign is that we can't determine whether someone lives or dies based on their conception.
Her choice, either way.
But you held the sign as if it had something to do with your point.
Non-raped woman.
What's that? No one agrees with me?
You're literally in Southern California.
Yeah. If I thought you all agreed with me, I wouldn't be here, right? Because abolitionists are going to stand up for justice and mercy and try to change the heart.
You see that this is kind of the hypocrisy, right? He even said it himself. Okay, there was a time where there were some good white people that stood up and wanted to free black people, free black slaves, wanted to fight for them, wanted to fight for their rights. These minorities, these white women, right, were exactly like the evil white people that says, we don't want you here, shut up, go away, all this shit. Exactly, right? This is why they don't realize the hypocrisy. You are no better than the evil white people that did not want black slaves to have rights or freedoms. Okay, because here's the thing: as I get so many black detractors, guess what? There were plenty of white people that wanted black people to be free. Plenty of white people that stood right by black people because they wanted them to be free. And we had the evil people that did not want that to happen. The evil people that said, no one agree with you, get away, go away. No different than these white liberal women or these stupid, honestly stupid minority liberal women as well, right? They don't see the hypocrisy.
It's crazy. Like I say all the time, if all men were bad, these women would be in trouble. They'll be the first to go if all men were bad. You know what I'm saying? And it's like you said earlier, most men are not bad. You know, you have a small percentage of bad men that do bad things, you know, and me personally, I think because women have been unchecked in anything, it's more bad women than it is bad men. I will even say that now. I will say that now. Not always, but now. It's more bad women than it is bad men. And these women will be oppressed if all men were bad. All men were bad.
Yes.
And minds of the people who are oppressing other people.
Hearts and minds of
In the 19th century, when abolitionists stood up for the rights of slaves, they were not loved or appreciated or popular. People told them, go home. Stop telling us about freedom for the slaves. They're our property, my plantation, my prerogative. And they were completely on property. Thank you, sir. Thank you. So simply having a perspective that is not agreed upon by the masses does not make you wrong.
Yeah, well, a lot of women.
You know, your ageism is unsurprising.
Popular with the masses.
Yeah, so I'm about the age of many of
yes, because young, immodestly dressed women are famously not popular with the masses.
If your argument against me is simply that I'm too old to be here, and that is the height of your argument, then you don't have an argument. If I were a female and I were 22 years old saying the same thing, for instance, she agrees with me, right? I know, you're closed-minded. Don't talk. I don't want to hear. You want to oppress and tell me where to go. Yeah, I won't. But I do understand what it means to be human. And that human beings ought to be treated fairly and equally. And the laws protecting you from murder should be applied to all of the other humans. You were not murdered when you were in the womb. No, when you were raped, it's fair to protect you and have compassion and do everything in our power to help you. But we can't, for instance, inequality would be anyone who's raped, therefore has to be murdered.
But I'm protecting something that is a reminder to be raped.
So,
Does that make sense to you?
yeah, but you being reminded of something doesn't mean you can kill that person.
But it's not you. You can't have a death certificate.
Yeah, having a death certificate does not determine your rights or your humanity or your dignity. Because if it could, we would just deprive the slaves of their certificates and justify what they did, which is what people did. It's just a human being. It has the right to life. It has the right to just be left alone, right? No, mothers should not have the right. This is the question. Mothers should not have the right to just...
Yo, CG Ripper, what is up, my brother? What is up? Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here, guys. Please like the stream. It helps me out. Please like the stream.
Determine if their children live or die. We do believe that on born children. We just need to extend it to preborn children.
Yeah, I think a lot of us.
Yeah, and that's why it's child sacrifice. I believe that we should have equality of rights. That we should
see, just like that woman said, right? I'll do it if it's benefit myself. I've said this before, right? I don't give a shit. You want to abort your baby, do the shit you want to do. I don't give a shit, these people, because honestly, these people are selfish. But what I'll say is that I'll give women more credit if they were just fucking honest. Just be honest. You're selfish. You want to kill the baby because you know what? You let a shitty guy hit the club, right? Shoot up the club, right? You let a shitty guy, a guy that either you don't want or don't want you, you let him hit it, and quit it. And now that you have a mistake, you want to get rid of it because you don't want to be responsible for your mistake. If you're honest, like, yeah, I killed my baby because I don't want it. You know, I don't want the responsibility. Hell, whether I like it or not, I will give you so much credit. At least you're fucking honest. At least you're honest, right? Say that you're selfish. Say you don't care, right? It's a baby. I don't care, right? I'm selfish. I don't think about myself. At very least, I'll give you credit for saying the truth. This is why these women said, "Oh, you know what? What about this? What about that? It's not a living thing. It has no birth certificate. It's not moving. It has no shut the hell up, right? It's a human. Hey, just be honest. You want to kill the baby because you're selfish. You're irresponsible. You don't want to be accountable for your bad behavior, for your slutty ass behavior."
I think it's funny that these same women who are arguing to off their babies, they will be arguing to keep their babies if their man got some money. Same ones. If the man got some money, they're just arguing from a point because they just want to do whatever they want to do and not be held accountable for it. But if that man got a little bit of change, oh, you guarantee they be sitting there fighting there. Oh, that's my baby. You want me to off my baby? You want me off my baby? You be fighting for it. That's crazy to me. Same women, same argument. If he got some money, oh, she ain't get rid of that baby. Crazy.
Show the same love and care and protection to all people, especially the people who are deprived of those rights in our laws. Because our practices, you cannot actually kill minorities simply because they're minorities.
Yeah, but you can't stop my
In fact,
you can deport me from.
Yes, I can. Yes, and you agree with me. The reason I was going to ask about rape is we agree that rapists should be prohibited from doing with their bodies whatever they want, because we believe that there are violations of other people's autonomy of their bodies. So rape is wrong because it's a vicious, violent act of one person who's stronger in a position of power over another person. Abortion is wrong for precisely the same reason. It's one person who is stronger, powerful, who can make decisions to unalive their own child, who puts their desires before the desires of their baby. Exactly. That's why we would want to change the laws. Just like, say we had a law allowing you to chattel people, allowing you to...
We literally did that.
We did.
We literally did.
And who changed those laws?
Not white males.
No, who changed those laws? Who stood up for the...
Not white males? Are you stupid? I'm sorry. This is the problem, right? I've said this before. I've said this plenty of times. I don't know any white people in real life. I don't really have white friends in real life. I'm surrounded by black people. My friends are black. The community I live in is black. But let's be honest. This is why I think it's stupid. If no white people, right, wanted to change anything, how would anything be changed? Right? I'm sorry. Women couldn't force men. The small minority groups couldn't force men. This is why we have to wake up. There are good white people out there, right? It is white people who changed the laws for, let's say, change the laws for black slaves, change the laws for oppressed women. Stop it with that bullshit. I hate that narrative, right? And I'm not trying to garner any white love because I don't give a shit. What I care about is facts. You're saying that white people didn't change the law? It's a predominantly white country. They had to change the law. If they didn't, who could force them? Absolute ridiculous.
Crazy. No, you good. I'm sorry, my bad.
And what was the experience of the abolitionist who stood up in a culture that practiced and protected slavery? What was their experience? It was this experience. When the abolitionists stood up.
And we got laughed at, we got ridiculed, we got yelled at, we got shit thrown at us. And now
So-
we're here asking for rights that are yours.
So-
we have stood here. We
so-
have raised our signs, we have been loud, we have protested.
It's all very interesting.
Why do you think we got a choice?
It's all very interesting, but
And
to
now
make it
you're
connected to what I'm saying
trying to get
is if
rights
you're
that we
wondering
never protested.
why is it okay for someone to stand up for the particular group of humans who can be legally murdered, and what is their experience in a culture that is practicing a grave dehumanizing evil, it is going to be extremely unpopular to stand up against it. That is the experience of the abolitionist. It was very unpopular to stand there and say that slaveholding is a crime and that it should be punished. It was extremely unpopular. If you went on a college campus,
You with you white males. So do you still
if
feel
you
like
went on a college
that-
campus advocating for the abolition of slavery back in the 1830s, 40s, this is what happened to you. Because the predominant view in their culture is the African slave is property, and that you can't tell a person what to do with their property. And they also argued it's better off if they're enslaved. They also argued if we free them, there's going to be a situation. Manly. Some arguments aren't actually worth dealing with. You should be ashamed. So
this weak ass man. This is why I hate. You know what? I've gotten to hate colleges so much because it's just producing weak ass fucking men. Did this weak ass man, just compare a baby to a lettuce? Absolute stupidity. I swear to God.
This whole argument is kind of crazy. You sitting there arguing for the fact that you can offer baby. What is wrong with you? You're a degenerate. Well, how about this? How about euthanasia? How about that?
Oh yeah.
How about that? How about you go and you get a hysterectomy? How about that? You know what I'm saying? How about you turn 18 and you go get a hysterectomy because you don't want to have children? How about that? I think that would be more humane than sit there arguing for the right to off your baby. Are you crazy?
And this is, you know, I just wanted to show this is because this is the problem I find. Women have no good role models, no good teachers. They are less logical than ever before, right? They're more emotional than ever before. And we're seeing, these are the women that are out there, right? These are the next generation of women, right? These are the next generation of adults. And these are the women that are supposedly going to help improve the world or be our politicians or be whatever. They are stupid. I'm sorry. They have low IQs and they think that they're so smart. They don't do facts over they don't do facts over feelings, right? It's literally just all emotion.
Yeah, you can tell that one woman has not stopped talking since she just running her mouth, and that's how I know when somebody's losing an argument. When they gotta talk over you, when they gotta just talk nonstop and talk over you, they lost already. They already lost, and they know it, and you should know it. So at that point, you can't argue with stupid. Remember that saying? Don't argue with stupid. Don't argue with stupid, and that's what I think we're in right now. Don't argue with stupid. Yeah, anybody with common sense, you can try to have a conversation with them, but then once they go too far, don't argue with stupid, man. That's why I couldn't do nothing like we's doing. Big props to him for doing this because I'm not arguing with stupid.
I agree. You gotta have a lot of patience to deal with this kind of this is why, like, I mean, like, why I'm glad, at least, you know, with the TikTok thing, man, if you're stupid, I'm kicking you off. I'm not dealing with you, right? So I definitely, I can't stand like the sheer amount of stupidity and just like uncouthness of it. No.
when I eat a burger with lettuce, I'm eating a cow, right? I'm not eating a human. So and lettuce is not a human either. So for those of us who can distinguish between a human and a non-human, which all of us generally can, except for in the case where we get wrapped up in an argument and we're failing so hard that we have to reach down deep and go crazy.
Like at the end of the day, let's think about this from like a good like standpoint.
God.
A grown-ass man without a womb talking to people about what they do.
Do you have a womb?
No, that's why I do.
So why are you allowed to say
That's why I'm here.
this
That's why
opinion?
you shouldn't-
I think you have a valid right to give an opinion because, right. So I'm speaking up for humans. So I'm listen.
Omni, what is up, my brother?
Bro.
What is up? What are your
What up,
thoughts?
Omni?
One quick thought. Hey, since I troll you two legends all the time, with your prompt there on the role model thing, used to be role models taught you how to do the hard thing and how to get through the hard things that come kind of despite yourself. Yet they've taken the language and twisted around to make it look like they're the brave ones and they're the ones doing the hardship and they're against the man and all this stuff, when it's really like you just go back, to your grandparents' generation. Let's talk about what was hard then. Those were that's why you get so much good literature out of those older generations and stuff too, because they had to like go through it. What will these ones have to write about? Nothing.
It wouldn't even survive, man. People used to be way smarter. I remember when I used to get in, not even get in trouble. If I used to say I was bored, used to be like, we used to have encyclopedias, and they'd be like, you go down there and start reading. You start at A. It's A today, it's B tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it was. And you better read it fast enough.
And if you said
You know
you're
what I'm
bored,
saying?
sometimes you had to run after you said that too.
Oh yeah. It got to the point where it was like I used to just get off of school and go down there and get sleep because I knew what it was. It wasn't no I'm bored or I'm this or I'm that. It was like you step up to the plate or you don't. We were way smarter back in the day. I'm sorry. People can
And that's
feel
like-
however they want to, but we were.
Yeah, like what you were just saying too about, changing the laws and all this stuff. It's like, yeah, those were the hard choices, the hard things that had to be done. These generations, these different people groups that did all that stuff. I had to call in some your white friend. So yeah, you got one.
No,
But I'm just joking around. But they they wanted to do the hard thing was to settle the West. That was the hard thing. And they did.
This is this
Get a
is
new
why
one.
I hate that thing where that we don't give people enough credit because we want to be edgy, liberal, and just stupid, right? And it's not facts.
There's
It's
no
not
purpose
facts.
in it.
Mm-hmm.
Except control.
Yeah, I
Or
agree.
a semblance of control. Anyway, I got a dash, but I wanted to share that. See you later, guys.
No, I love it. But I put your check out Omni, man, right? Check out Omni, right? He shows a lot of things of American past, right? Great views and perspective of the amazingness of America, right? So I put the link in the chat. Please check him out if you guys can. He shows the amazingness of America, right? So definitely amazing.
I don't know how many of y'all are Christians or not Christians, but I'm a Christian, right? So
Steve, no, of course, right? I love you guys, right? I view you guys as my brothers, right? I'm just saying, you know what? This is a thing where I'm not doing it for. I'm not the things I say. I'm not doing it for anyone's validation. I always believe, logic over feelings, facts over emotions. That's where I'm going about it.
Yeah. We don't see. I mean, anybody who's real is not going to see color. Honestly.
Exactly.
Anybody who's real is not going to see color. And if you, my brother, that's crazy. Why would I shoo away somebody, Allah, somebody who's going to have my back? Why would I push that away? That's stupidity because of their color, their skin. If you can treat me fairly, why wouldn't I treat you fairly? That's respect. And that's what we have lost. We have lost respect. People think they can just go and disrespect people, and that's not how it is. That's not how the world works. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. This is why I wanted to create the brotherhood where we don't give a shit about that, right? Right. This is why I love it. So
I'm just telling you about myself. So I'm a Christian. I believe that as a Christian, I'm to love God with all my heart, soul, and mind, and to love my neighbor as myself. I believe my neighbors are all human beings. I believe that Christ himself actually came here to die and save me from my sin. When Christ came here, I believe he left heaven and entered the womb of a woman, and from his conception on, developed in the womb. He identified with all human beings. So I therefore love my neighbor as myself, and I want to do for them what I would want done for me. There's a law protecting me from murder. Like someone here may want me dead, but you know what? They don't do it because they would get in trouble. I would like that same law that keeps me from being murdered by enlightened college students like yourself to be applied to the preborn human. It's that simple. Well, she's with me. She came with me today, but she's filming. Oh, she's hiding behind a camera. Hey, let's not diss any women that are working today.
We're not dissing women. Trust me, buddy, I'm not dissing women.
Calm down.
I love female rights, I promise.
Calm down, please.
You're the 45-year-old who's on a college.
I know, it's just my sign. Just calm down.
No,
I don't like the whole rage baiting thing. Like I just like to be chill. To talk. To converse.
This is the problem I have, right, with these people. Why do you talk to college students? Why do you do this? Why do you do this? Are you stupid? You are the future generation, right? Mm-hmm. If we produce stupid ass adults, future adults, you think our society will get better or worse, right? Let's say this. We talk to like 30-year-olds, 40-year-olds. What's that going to happen, right? Usually it's already set. Life is pretty much set for the ones that are 30, 40, 50, shit like that, right? Mm. But we hope that we talk to these younger generation. This is why I hope that if any young men come across my content, we see, you see these old heads talking, you see the unks talking. Hopefully you gain some knowledge. Hopefully you gain some enlightenment, right? Like just like the thing I said, where do not let women and lust be your weakness. If young men control that shit, they will be dangerous. They will be focused, right? So, no duh, we should be talking to the younger generation, even though they're fucking ignorant and stupid. But, hopefully we can change or educate some young kids, some young future adults, because sadly, which is very sad, that these are the future of America, of the world.
It's sadly, I believe that if the school is teaching your child, they are going to be dumb.
Yeah.
If you don't take personal responsibility in educating your children, make sure they can read, making sure they can read at a certain level. I was reading it I probably was reading it at college level in middle school. You know what I'm saying? And that was because of my family. Like I said, they used to be like, "Oh, you bored? Well, go downstairs to the World Book and write me a paper on avocados." That's what you do.
That's amazing.
And I'm not even saying you gotta be that strict, but come on, man, teach your children. Take some personal responsibility in your own legacy, man. Your own legacy, man. That's all you have. That's why I think that woman right there is particularly crazy, because it's take responsibility for your own legacy.
Yeah.
Now you be the same one be sitting there crying when they turn 30. There's no good men. You be the same one, but you are a 304. We know that you're 18-year-old 304.
Yep.
What's wrong with California? Is California immune to discussions?
If we were rage baiting you, this is like a lot different.
So I bet you that you value free speech. I bet you value discourse. I bet you value debate.
100%.
I bet you think yourself as someone who would be on the side of a minority.
Yes.
So I'm a minority here, right?
You're not.
No, ideologically speaking.
Minority abortion would be illegal in every single state.
No, ideologically speaking, I am in a minority. These are words that can be used.
As a white male, you're in a minority. Tell me what minority group that is.
All right, so let me break these down word for word. I said, ideologically speaking, I am in a minority. The word minority can be used to denote a smaller number. No, right? So here, if you were to take up a survey, my view is the minor position. That's how I'm using the word minor. Right. So I am a person vocalizing a minority view with my freedom of speech. Now, if I were arguing for something that you agreed with, you'd be perfectly fine with the fact that I was 45. It would be fine that I was a male. It'd be fine that I was white. It's the issue that I'm arguing for that you have a problem with. And since you
When I asked how many ovaries a woman had, he looked me dead in the eye and he said, I don't know, maybe 4 to 12.
2 ovaries.
4 to 12 ovaries. I don't got 4 to 12 ovaries.
My aim would be to attempt to persuade either you or those who see our discussion. That would be my aim.
Yeah, that is our aim. To persuade you.
Yeah. Well, persuade me. I believe in human rights. Okay. Persuade me not to believe in human rights.
Okay. Have you ever been a woman who has been raped? Answer me
No.
yes or no.
No.
Then why the fuck do you get to decide? Then why do you get to choose?
That's so stupid. It's like you think that the majority of abortions are from women that get raped. They're not. That's what is it? Less. I don't know. It's a very small percentage of women, maybe 1% of it. It's like this is why I'm sorry. This is why college is just turning out stupid ass people.
You're trying to persuade me, right? I hold the view that human beings, as human beings, should not be murdered, and that no other human has the right to murder other humans. You need to persuade me that my view is wrong. By telling me that I don't have a uterus, something that I already know, it's not going to persuade me. It's funny, whenever you're having like a deep argument about human rights and you get to the impasse of, holy smokes, it is a human in the womb. I do claim to believe in human rights, but I'm also...
Don't have a birth certificate.
Does anyone here think that, does anyone here think that the possession of a birth certificate is what determines your humanity?
You can't have a birth certificate without a death certificate.
Really quick, I just want to know what's the level of engagement here? We will. Is your humanity predicated on the possession of a birth certificate? Yes? You think, okay, so there are people, hundreds of millions of people, right, who do not have the kind of birth certificate you have. You're saying they are not human.
Within the states, it's the only reason that you're not, discriminating against deporting or putting a constitution.
I'm just telling you, you know, whenever your argument,
they don't have,
you can't argue for the thing you're arguing for. We have to dig so deep that your argument is based on whether or not you possess a piece of paper from a foreign government. That is very bad. Because oppressors who have been dealing with other countries will do things like rob those documents in order to justify humanizing. But the thing is what I'm wanting you to understand is that our rights are not from documents. They're not from birth certificates, and they're not from laws. It's from our actual humanity. It's our being. Ontologically, our being is human, and a human has the right to life. Because no human has the right to murder another human, because humans are made in the image of God. That's just basic biological and ontological reality. We all say, who believes in equality? Like, who believes in human equality and justice? Who believes in human equality, social justice, empathy, and loving your neighbor? Because if you believe those things and believe in abortion, you are contradicting yourself. Your problem isn't with me. Your problem is with your own statements.
My problems aren't with me. It's the fact that you're holding a sign. So, look.
This particular sign, or which one do you like?
I actually, my favorite is the one we haven't seen yet.
This one?
The red one.
So this is women or not?
No, the
this
other
is
one. Flip it all the way.
The red one?
Let's go to the final sign.
This one?
Yes.
All right.
Our neighbors.
Every child murdered by abortion is your neighbor. So this sign.
I would like to ask a question about this sign. Okay. So we agree. Humanity, at least for babies, is not. We don't need doctors, right? Right. We don't need a birth.
That's not where your humanity comes from.
We don't need a birth.
If you were born in the woods and no one ever knew, you would be a baby. If a tree fell next to you, it would make a sound.
No doctors. Yes. So why has 300,000, please search this data, 300 and 600,000 immigrants without U.S. citizenship, without legal...
It's not a human right to be in a country illegally, right? Our country isn't murdering illegal immigrants. They're deporting them back fucking home, right? It's not murder. This is why they're so stupid. It's not murder. You can't enter a country illegally because you have no documents. It's not the same thing as being born, right? No one is disputing that these immigrants have human rights because we're not mistreating them or we're not treating them like dirt, right? We're not treating them like animals. We're treating them humanely, or hopefully we are. That's the thing where, again, this is why these kids are so stupid.
It's just weird. You're for somebody coming into this country undocumented, You know, when you just come into this country, you're for not having no borders, but you're against not aborting your child. That's wild.
Oh god.
Sometimes we just gotta call spade a spade and just look and
Yeah.
see what it is. You know what I'm saying? And when you put it that way, it's like crazy. You really rather have undocumented people in this country, which you can't do in any other country. Try if you want. Try to go to Switzerland and just go to Switzerland and stay if you want to. But aborting your unborn child is okay, especially now when you can just take a child and what is the fire department? Just put them just take them to the fire department. If
Yeah.
you don't want a child, there's plenty of people that do want children. You know what I'm saying?
And this is the thing where we should be populating our own country instead of importing just random ass people. I mean, like, I'm sorry, you know, we should be I mean, like, to be honest, right? I think the sad thing, the black community would have had millions upon millions of more people in their community if it wasn't for abortion. There will be millions more black people. But we think that, okay, let's decrease the black population. That makes sense. You're so for you know, black rights, yet you want to decrease the population, which honestly, the more population the black people have, the more voting rights they would have.
Yes.
It's really crazy.
And it's done on purpose. Look into eugenics. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
Look
Yes.
at Planned Parenthood. You know,
Yes.
people think that's a good thing, but it's it's eugenics. What eugenics means is the elimination of one race by another, pretty much.
Yeah.
You know, and I just think it's crazy that women rather they'd rather be slaves and concubines than being matriarch to their own family. That's wild. That's sad to me.
Yeah. She's not a transformer, right? I don't think so. But there was that I guess that little gay dude, or maybe a transformer, but there was that little other dude.
Been taken from our country, half of them being murdered, raped.
What the hell are you talking about? Half of them? God.
Just saying stuff.
No. Unbelievable.
Sexually assaulted, stripped of their humanity.
All right, real quick check.
Why do I have
Was that 150? Was that 150,000? So 300,000, half of them are murdered.
Find out documentation, my birth certificate, or my citizenship. Why do I have to run the opposite way from law enforcement? Because that's what defines my humanity. These things should not have more humanity than us. Because, well,
Us? You're literally standing in school, right? How is it? God, it's not even like, what are you talking about more rights than you? It has less than rights than you because you are willing to kill it. While you are so entitled, a little white girl, so entitled, standing on a college campus, alive, getting a stupid education. Unbelievable.
And I would be like, don't touch me. See, I have a problem with that. When people like when when it's like we're going back and forth, don't touch me. That's my thing. You know, it's like we're in the heated argument, don't touch me. That's it. That's all. Do not touch me. You know what I'm saying? I think that's simple. We used to have respect for each other, even in combat.
Yeah.
Even in combat, we used to have respect.
I can't even do this. I was thinking about doing some real life stuff, but I don't think I could do it because
I can do it.
Yes, I was like, I can't stand people like if they were arguing in my face or like getting in my space. I don't know if I could do that.
Feels the pain of a weak being left for the stem, a girl getting raped, strangled, and then killed with knives, pencils, or even the old pencils of any gender, not just male, but any gender, should actually face justice, and they should actually get a choice, because that is what defines your humanity. Whether it's right or wrong, your citizenship, your documentation is what gives you humanity within these states. If these individuals do not have it, they too should have to face those injustices, and they should not get more rights in that womb than I do for something that I have to carry to term, and that I have to carry for 9 months in my own life.
So,
what the hell? Did you ever understand that shit?
So
I hope you now enjoy the new crowd because originally
I appreciate it because I want clarification on your speech.
they have more right than your own bodies. Thank you, guys.
So the problem is actually she said a bunch of stuff. It didn't actually particularly make much sense.
This is I wanted to show this video is that this is the problem I'm saying, right? Just like the first video, women are being miseducated, right? Women are being miseducated. Women don't have good role models. I mean, like I don't know. She was pretty much raised by stupid parents, right? Probably taught by liberal stupid ass teachers, or or even worse, right? Social media taught her, right? Social media most likely taught her to say the stupid things she said. And this is the problem I'm talking about, right? We have a young generation that has no good teachers, no good role models, particularly for women. I think that at least, right, if it happens, young men have the manosphere, right? And of course, right, there are toxic men out there. There are terrible men out there. There are, men that would tell you honestly terrible things. Because I will say this, right? I will stand on this. I don't think body count for men is a good thing. Now, having a little bit of experience is definitely a good thing. But having 50, 60, whatever amount of women, no, that's absolutely ridiculous, right? More body count for men is not a good thing. Focus if men just purely focus on getting ripped and getting money. I think you're just focusing on and those are good things, but that should not be a main focus because that just makes you superficial, right? You can focus on your mental state, who you are inside, good man, moral sign, a moral man, right? So, but at least that there's a good amount of logical men in the men's content space where hopefully you get more logical takes. While for women are just getting emotional women or emotional stupid men talking about stupid things, right? Talking about illogical things. So they don't have good, honest reps or good role models or good teachers. So
Yeah, I agree. They don't. You can't just like I say all the time. You cannot do whatever. It's rules to this. If you don't want to follow the rules, sorry for you. You be outcast. We need to bring back shame. We need to bring back spinsters. We need to. If you're in your 30s and you ain't had no child, maybe people need to be looking at you a little strange, because that means you can't work with a man. And if you can't work with a man in your 30s, you can't. You should go ahead and lay down somewhere. That's how I feel. You got to work with the person you're with. Period, man or woman. You have to be able to work with the person you're with so you can build a legacy. That's what everything should be about. Because I'm really big on legacy because I want us to last another 1,000 years. And we're not going to with this liberal way of thinking. We're not. We're not going to make it because people are not getting married, people are not having children. Those are things we need to be happening. We need those things to happen, in my opinion.
100% agree. 100% agree. That I definitely, and like if we're left up to these women, there's a downfall for humanity. This is why I do my best to fight against feminism or speak out against feminism. So, all right, that's it for tonight. Big Bars. Any last words?
Now, I would just like to speak to you. Have to teach your own children.
Yeah.
Take an interest in your children. I know you gotta pay the bills. I know you need money, but set aside an hour for your children, man. An hour. You can't spend 1 hour with your children and make sure they're doing their homework, make sure they're reading them correctly, make sure they know certain things they should know about certain ages. You don't tell a 5-year-old everything, but by the time he's 13, 15, he should know most things. Take time to build your legacy and read, man. I don't know what's up with these people that not wanting to read. Read a book. And that woman could benefit from reading a daggone book because you are dumb as a bag of nails. Actually, you know, it's. I think somebody said it in their comments, like that you lost brain cells listening to her talk. For real, you did. You know, pretty much that's all I want to say. Thank you, Pete. I thank you, man. Appreciate you.
No, I love it. I love it. Thank you for always being here, my brother. I love you. Right. Thank you for being part of my family, right? My crew. I love you. Right, guys. I love you. Right, Steve. Thank you for being here. Omni Man or Omni. Please check out his tarot. I put the link in the chat. Please check him out. Shows pretty good stuff. CG, Three Kings. All right, Justin was here. Connor, thank you, my brother. Thank you. Red Door was here. Laughing Man, Sean. Guys, I love you. All right, that's it for tonight. Big Bars, thank you for always being here, my brother. I love you. All right, that is it for tonight. All right, guys, have a good night, my brothers. All right, Big Bars later, my brother. Thank you, guys. Please check out my other videos. Right, please check out my other videos. I just recently did my last live. Please check that out too. I think that was fun. Right. Please check out my other videos. Please comment on them if you guys could. Please like them if you guys could too. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. But